Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is BLEAV.
It is episode 99 of the Say Hey podcast. I am Doug Hayes. It is March 27th, 2023. Rob, baseball is back, my man. And the Giants are less than 3 days away from the season opener at 10 a.m. our time. We're all going to be at work at Yankee Stadium. Let's go. What's going on, brother? It's time for a season preview.
Well, let's go, man. These are the best episodes, right? We were just talking about it. The best episodes where we put our asses on the line, our wallets on the line, and make some predictions about what the hell's going to happen in the mosaic of the season, as Marty Lawyer would say.
You know, Rob, a little foreshadowing and kind of going back in time. Before the NBA season started, and as you can see kind of in the corner over here, of the Sacramento Kings on television. Now, Rob and I have been Kings fans for a very long time. And the last time that they were a playoff team, we were sophomores in high school.
Yes.
And before the season started, I laid a little green on them to make the playoffs. And they're about, 16 basketball minutes away from that coming to fruition. And I'm going to be getting a nice little payday.
Good.
Should I put some money on the Giants making the postseason this year, Rob?
Well,
or should we wait to the end? I don't want to spoil everything.
I say let's wait till the end. But in regards to our Sacramento Kings, I think we all, when I say all, I mean you, me, Kingscast Ryan, Kingscast Eric. Shout out to the boys.
Thanks.
Great time Saturday night. We all took their over for wins this year, which was 34.5, I believe. And I think we all cashed that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like a month ago.
Yeah, but I didn't have the the grapefruits, I will say, to bet them to go to the playoffs. So shout out to you, man. I mean, breaking the 16-year drought. Like, well done. Enjoy that money. Do something nice with it.
Yeah. All $175 I'm going to get. Anyways. Hey, let's talk some baseball. And, before we get into our season preview, just dropped today, this morning. Make sure you go check out episode 98, where we're joined by Giant Futures writer Kevin Cunningham talking Giants prospects. That was a fun episode. Make sure you get that wherever you get your podcasts, or if you're watching here on YouTube as well. But it is time for the season preview. We're going to be blunt. I mean, you guys kind of know over the last few episodes where we're at on this team and how we're feeling about things. So this is going to be a fairly quick, preview. So, and after tonight, obviously the Giants play Thursday. This is getting recorded on Monday, the 27th. We'll probably put this out the day before, the 29th, on Wednesday. And so I'll give you guys like a day to listen to it before the season actually starts, because once that first pitch is thrown, no changes on predictions. So let's talk roster a little bit. So obviously, missed out on Aaron Judge, so fitting because it's episode 99. The whole Carlos Correa debacle. Mitch Haniger's here, Michael Conforto's here. They bring in Ross Stripling, Sean Manaea. Sounding like Blake Sable he already is. He's going to be on the opening day roster. The Rule 5 guy that can play the outfield. He can catch. Does give the Giants some flexibility. So a lot obviously went on in this offseason. Good and bad. Just in general, Rob, like, how you feeling about the Giants right now going into the season to start the season?
To be perfectly blunt, not so good. Mitch Haniger will not be starting the year on the active roster. He's on the IL.
Yep.
We heard today that Alex Cobb should be active for his first start. He's been kind of in and out the last couple weeks. They've been taking it easy with him, but it sounds like he'll be good to go. Austin Slater, yeah. I mean, he's banged up, and it's I always say that like when we get to predictions and stuff, I don't like to predict injuries, but when guys are injured before the season starts, it's like, God, man, we talk about that's the reddest flag you can be holding up. When going into the season, like we haven't even started playing yet, and their biggest offseason acquisition is already on the shelf with an oblique, and obliques tend to take time. They're like groin injuries.
Yeah.
You can't rush back from obliques.
No, because swinging a bat is, you feel that. So
yeah, you do. And Mitch Haniger swings very hard, and so so not very good, to be totally honest. Going into Yankee Stadium, they're gonna mash. Then they go to they go see the White Sox.
Chicago,
after that, they're gonna mash. So right at the gates, the Giants are going to be tested. That lineup, which they're going to be relying very heavily on this year to kind of have a bounce back year across the board. They're going to have to mash early and often to keep up, with these AL sluggers. So Ross Stripling, he's throwing tonight, didn't look so good. Granted, the Giants didn't play any defense behind him. Spoiler, I don't think the Giants are going to play a lot of defense this year anyways. So
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, they kind of punted on that this offseason, and it's kind of reared its ugly head here the last couple of days. Brett Wisely yesterday really misplayed a ball in center field, led to a 3-run triple. He misplayed it. So, yeah, and then Tyro Strada has kicked a couple balls around tonight, and it's just, I mean, they're little things. It's baseball, but it's exactly what we feared coming into the year, and we've seen it on display the last couple of days. So I don't know, Doug, how are you feeling about this team?
I think, well, I'll go by units real quick, and I don't want to take too much time here, but like when we talk about the pitching staff, like this is a deep staff. I mean, the additions of Stripling and Manaea. Apparently Sean Jelly's looked better. He's put on some good weight. Jacob Junis is still there, of course. So whether, they're really good or it's going to be interesting to see how Gabe Kapler manages this starting rotation, because they are literally like 8 guys deep. And some of these guys that have been there for a couple years are getting paid starter money. Like, what are they going to do with Alex Wood? So I'm interested to see with that. Like, is Anthony DeSclafani going to start the season in the rotation? I think he should. I think DeSclafani is going to have a great bounce back year, health permitting, of course. But the rotation is deep. So do they combine on some of these stuff? Like, hey, maybe Alex Wood goes for 3-4 innings and he doesn't get seen a second, third time through and gets combined with Sean Manaea one night. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if they do that 6-man rotation, whatever. Brooks was much ahead of his time last year with that. So
yes, he was.
So the rotation, I think if they as a unit are thriving, it could mean good things because they have the depth there. In regards to the bullpen, I don't think you can argue this is going to be a better unit than it was last year. I mean, bringing in Taylor Rogers, hopefully Tyler Rogers has a bounce back year this year. Camilo Duvall is one of the better closers in the National League now. And Scott Alexander, I'm big on him. He had a great end of the year last year, great September with the Giants. And then obviously John Brebbia can be used as a 7th, 8th inning guy like he should be.
Not an opener.
Bullpen, yes, not an opener. This bullpen should be better, like for sure.
Yes.
And then, talking lineup, I think what they did this offseason is, they bring in Haniger, they bring in Conforto. The Giants want to get back to hitting the ball out of the ballpark. And obviously Jock Peterson's back on the qualifying offer. There are definitely some boppers in this lineup. Again, if they can stay healthy. So, I'm not truly optimistic, but we know that guys like Mike Yastrzemski, Wilmer Flores, Lamont Wade Jr., they can, help with the long ball. And then if David Villar can kind of take off what he did at the end of 2022 and continue to do that, who knows? So, this roster, what we see on Thursday it could look somewhat different early next week because there's, they have a couple days off early in the season, so there could be some switches. Farhan loves the transaction wire, and he loves the options and going up and down. So overall, yes, I think this roster is improved, but I do believe that there are other teams in the National League that got better. This sounds dumb. They got more better than the Giants got better. So
yes,
if that makes sense.
But I think you nailed it. I think you were very seldomly going to see any pitcher that's not named Logan Webb go more than 4 or 5 innings this year. The Giants bullpen is kind of built for that. Jacob Junis is down there now, basically full-time, middleman, bridge guy. I think you're going to see a lot this year, and I think that's where Alex Wood is eventually going to end up too. They haven't announced that yet, and there's always injuries too. So with starting pitchers, so got to hit the ball at the ballpark and get the ball to that bullpen with the game, still in reach every night.
But I'm with you, just like you said a few minutes ago. I've said it before on this show. I am pessimistic about the defense. I don't think they made any improvements defensively. You lose Brandon Belt. I know he wasn't around much last year, just like all the other years. But you know what? He was always relied upon for his glove. Evan Longoria, when he was on the field and healthy, he was a contributor and he was good at third base. Like, there's no denying that. Yes. And now we're going into the season. Can David Villar do it most of the time? JD Davis, can he contribute over there as well? When is Casey Schmidt going to be up with the team? So, and the same thing on the other corner. I mean, Lamont Wade Jr. is an outfielder, and he's going to primarily play first base, and Jock Peterson's getting reps over there. Tyro Estrada is not a great fielder. He can hit, and he can run bags, and I love Tyro Estrada, but he's not a great fielder. And then 36-year-old Brandon Crawford at shortstop. So there's just a lot of big question marks defensively. I keep hearing – I don't like to call people out, and I'm not going to, but I keep hearing that the Giants got better defensively by adding Conforto and Haniger. I don't give a shit about what the numbers say, okay? Sometimes use your eyes and watch the game. They're not great defenders, okay?
No.
And so who knows? Maybe they pull something out. I know they're going to hit, so I'm excited to watch them hit. But
right.
Am I excited about the 9 that are on the field? Absolutely not. I don't think it's better than last year, and it was the worst defense in baseball. So we definitely punted defense. Let's go score 7 runs a game. So that's how the Giants are going to be successful this year.
Chicks dig the long ball. All
right, Rob. So now that we've already bitched about the Giants roster, let's move on to the National League West. So,
okay.
Now we're going to fly through and have some fun over the next few minutes, and then we'll wrap and get out of here. Just talking about the West in general, and I totally went out of order here. I see this. My bad.
That's all right.
Yeah. So records in the National League. We'll talk about who we think is going to win the divisions across the boards. And you're gonna laugh at me. I haven't even thought about division winners yet. So this is going to be on the fly after this. So we'll see how fun it is.
I love it.
Do you have your NL West standings?
I do.
You go first. I want to hear them.
Should I go bottom to top or top to bottom?
How about you start in third place? No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you're San Francisco. No, I'm playing. Top to bottom. First to worst.
All right. Top to bottom. In first place, finally getting over the hump, is the San Diego Padres. I got them going 98-64.
Ooh, okay.
In second place is not the Giants, but the Los Angeles Dodgers, 95-67.
Okay.
And just I don't want to get carried away or anything, but I think the Padres not having to play the Dodgers 6 times, that is going to help them, because those are auto losses every year for the Padres.
I keep forgetting the whole schedule reformat of
wide open
playing division opponents less, which I'll tell you what, probably a really good thing for our San Francisco Giants.
Yes,
because last year they struggled in the division for sure.
Yeah, and if the scheduling was the same, I would not have our Giants in third place at 82-80. I think that's fair. They are incrementally better than they were a year ago.
Ooh. Their WAR is one better.
They are, and I'm
wins
not
above last year.
And I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not being a smart ass. I really feel that way. I think they are going to hit Their lineup consists of 9 guys who you probably couldn't tell, pick differently in a lineup if they stood in front of you. There are 9 guys who are almost exactly the same person. So
a bunch of DHs?
Bunch of DHs who should be hitting 6 on great teams. but I think they are a little better than last year. So 82-80, the Giants, 3rd place. Right behind them, and I mean right behind them, is the Arizona Diamondbacks.
500?
80-82.
Okay.
So, hey, I think there'd be a fun team this year. It's a team to look out for. They're young and a lot of fun to watch. The Rockies are chilling in the cellar, as they primarily do, at 72-90.
Oh, generous.
I feel like
healthy Chris Bryant this year.
Yes, and I feel like I'm always a little higher on the Rockies than most because, hey man, they're getting 6 less games against the Dodgers, 6 less games against the Padres, and they have that home field advantage.
81 games at Coors. I mean, yeah, it's definitely an advantage.
They can win some games there, so that's what I got.
All right, we're kind of similar in the numbers here. Now so my NL West standings here, I just don't trust the Padres. And I'm not saying, and I'll tell you why in a second. I'm not saying they suck by any means. I think they're a good team. I'm gonna go with the Dodgers winning the West again, 94-68.
Okay.
Obviously not like an 111 win juggernaut like they were last year, but 94 wins this year for the Dodgers. I know they're not as healthy and they're not as deep as they usually are in that rotation. Walker Buehler, we were just talking about before we came on here. Walker Buehler is not going to be available, I believe, until later in the year. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what we thought.
Yeah.
Clayton Kershaw's a year older. Julio Urias, I think you and I are both Julio Urias fans. Like he's good, dude. He's a really good pitcher who does not get enough love from like the media and stuff. Like he's good, dude. I think he's like a top 20 pitcher.
Yes.
But yeah, and then Dustin May is back, and we'll see if he's able to stay healthy and contribute. But I trust that Dodger lineup, and they're gonna, they'll be just fine. The Padres, here's why. I think the Padres lineup is as good as it gets in baseball. I mean they are loaded, especially if Tatis can stay on the field. I know Soto is just pretty average with his time last year with the Padres after he was acquired. He's going to have a huge year probably. And then you bring in Xander Bogaerts. The fuck?
I know.
And I think my boy Jake Cronenworth's going to have a bounce back year. You know what I mean? So I think the Padres will be really good. I have them going 91-71, definitely making the postseason.
Right.
Now in 3rd place, I went back and forth with this one, but I ended up going with the Giants at same as you, 82-80.
No shit.
Seriously. I think this is the first year we have them at the same record.
Wow, that's crazy.
I think they're slightly better, but health is definitely a concern with this roster. We just spoke about a couple minutes ago. And like I said, I think they got better. But other teams got better. I think the Phillies got better. The Braves got better. The Mets definitely got better. The Cardinals are better. There are other teams in the National League that I think the Cubs are going to be good this year. I really do.
They'll be better.
There's definitely the NL is definitely deeper this year. So yeah, Giants in 3rd, 82-80. Arizona right behind him. And I'm just going to preface with this. I could absolutely see Arizona finishing 3rd place in this division. They got some young talent. Corbin Carroll's legit. Merrill Kelly. I think Ketel Marte's due for a bounce back year after, battling through some stuff last year. So this is going to be, and nobody talks about, I have a prospect I love with the Diamondbacks. His name's Stone Garrett, 80 grade name.
Yes.
Dude's got power.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might break through with the big club this year. So I've seen him play in Reno. Diamondbacks 79-83, although I think that's like maybe the floor for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Rockies 67-95. They're not very good.
Yeah, no, but no, hey, with Arizona, yeah, that 1-2 punch of Gallen and Kelly is very, very good.
Yeah, Gallen. if I remember correctly, he had a not great 2021 after, like, oh, this guy's gonna be pretty good. And then he was solid last year and a giant killer.
Yes.
So watch out for the Diamondbacks. I'm being negative, very negative. I feel like with 79 wins, I think their ceiling could be an 85, 86 win team. The West is good, man. The West is good. And the Giants very well could finish 4th and hover right around 500. That's how good the West is this year, I think.
Definitely.
What do we have next? Division winners. And I didn't even put a banner up for him. Such a loser. Hold on. Let me make one real quick here on the fly. So, obviously, we have our 6 divisions across baseball. We already so you have the Padres winning the NL West.
Yes.
I have the Dodgers. That's obvious.
Okay.
So, NL Central. Who you got? We don't even have to go into great detail, but who you got?
I got the St. Louis Cardinals.
So do I. Boring. NL East. NL East. Who you got?
NL East. I went with the Atlanta Braves.
Me too. Fuck the Mets.
What the fuck, man? I thought we'd be different there for sure.
No, I know that is boring. But I'll talk about the Braves in a couple minutes if you get what I'm saying.
I got you.
The American League. I think the AL West is very intriguing this year. The Rangers got better. The Mariners are definitely on the rise, and the Astros are the defending World Series champions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know what? I am going to say this. I think the Angels are not going to be awful this year. I think they're going to be better. I probably finish 3rd in that division, maybe 4th. But again, just like the NL West, I think the AL West is fairly deep this year, outside of, in no disrespect to our neighbor, the Oakland Athletics. But it's a good division, dude. Who do you got winning the West?
I got the Astros winning the West.
Okay.
And hold on one second. I think it's very easy at this point to disrespect the A's because you can't respect anybody who doesn't respect themselves.
All right, Rob. AL West, man. You know me. I'm like a closet Mariners fan because I love going up to the Pacific Northwest and blah blah blah. And if I hope they win the West every year, I really do. I don't like Robbie Ray's your ace, and he's so like hit or miss, and no pun intended.
Yeah,
he'll get his strikeouts, but man, he'll give up some runs too. And I love Luis Castillo. Obviously, I wanted the Giants to bring him back. I'll go with the Astros. I know that's weak, but I think Seattle's right on their tail, and I think the Rangers are improved too. Obviously, you bring in DeGrom and a full healthy year of Seager and Simeon. Like it's a good team. And then obviously our boy Boch is running that team. So
yeah, absolutely. The AL West could be a force to be reckoned with this year.
It's a good division. It really is.
Very good.
But I'm with you. I'll go Astros. I know that's a cheap cop out, but okay. AL Central. I think this is like the biggest, who you got?
Yeah. I kind of went back and forth on this one between Cleveland and Minnesota, but I went with Minnesota.
I know what you're gonna say.
What? No, hey, they brought back Carlos Correa. That was a hell of a move. For a
great bargain.
For a bargain, because nobody else trusts that ankle for more than 5 minutes, apparently. But the Twins, the team he was with last year, they're the ones who bring him back. That tells me a little something. That there's a lot of nervous Nellies out there when it comes to signing dudes, but that's okay. No, I think a Pablo Lopez, that was a great acquisition. I like Joe Ryan. They have a nice pitching staff.
Yeah.
But that was a tough one because I like Cleveland too. I think Bieber has a good year for Cleveland. People forget, last year Cleveland made the playoffs. They were last in the league in home runs. All they did was pitch and play defense. They were old school, and they were still a playoff team. So. Yeah, AL Central. Yeah, you almost pulled out of a hat outside of Detroit. So
I'm gonna go the Kansas City. No, I'm playing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Even though, and again, here's another closet team. I love the Chicago White Sox. Tim Anderson's my favorite player in baseball. He's just so fun to watch. And I think a full year of Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez is going to help. They will miss Jose Abreu, even though he wasn't like huge last year. But I do think the White Sox are okay. Again, remember I said this a few minutes ago. I'm kind of doing this on the fly because I totally forgot to write down my winners here. I'm gonna go with Cleveland. I think their pitching rotation and I like Jose Ramirez, and I know Steven Kwan's on the get up, and I'm missing another name in that lineup, but
Andres Jimenez.
Yeah, Jimenez, that's right.
Very good player.
I think I'll go with Cleveland, even though I hate the state of Ohio. Okay, the American League East, Rob. American League East. Who you got?
Yeah, another juggernaut division, just flat out. Everybody outside of Baltimore, and probably Boston too. Boston doesn't really belong, but between
Baltimore had a stretch last year where they played good baseball, man.
They did, but yeah, between the Rays, Yankees, and Blue Jays, it's tough. But I went with Toronto. I'm very high on Toronto. You'll see. But yeah, I think Alek Manoah. I mean, he's going to be a Cy Young contender this year. I think he's very good.
Yeah.
Our old friend, Kevin Gossman. What can you say? He kind of shoved it to the Giants last year for not giving him a contract because he backed it up last year. Also I'll credit Kevin Gossman. It's not because they have Brandon Belt. I don't want to hear people I don't like Brandon Belt like that. I like him a lot more now that he's gone. So I can.
That's funny.
But yeah, Vlad Jr. MVP candidate, of course. I love the Dalton Varsho trade. Very versatile player. Can play the outfield, catches, can steal bags. He's one of the most underrated players in baseball, in my opinion. Yeah, losing Tio Hernandez, that's rough. But between Bichette and all those other guys, they can cover up for that. So I went with Toronto.
I'm 100% with you, dude. I love the Blue Jays. Shout out our Canadian friend Chris Corbett, dude. Speaking of Chris's. Like the addition of Chris Bassett into the middle of this rotation too. And you know what? I think Jose Berrios has a bounce back year. He had a bad year last year.
Yes.
And don't forget who the number 5 guy is, former Mariner great. You say Kikuchi.
Mm-hmm.
Love Kikuchi. So, this is a good rotation. Again, the lineup is really good and they're still young. Vlad Jr. is an MVP candidate every year. And then Jordan Romano at the back end of the bullpen. He's one of the better closers in the AL. So, I mean, yeah, I'm with you. Adam Varsho, you got Alejandro Kirk, and Danny Jansen. They have fucking catchers galore. This is a really good team. So I'm going with the Blue Jays as well.
Hard not to. I mean, that's a great lineup. It's too bad they're all way in Canada. It's
kind of boring that we selected pretty much all the same. But anyways, all right.
I mean, you took Cleveland. I got Minnesota, so
that's true.
Totally different. And I got the Padres. So,
you want to do World Series picks first, or MVP and Cy Youngs?
Let's do World Series picks.
I agree. Let's do it.
Okay.
I got a feeling, dude. I have a feeling at least we share one team here.
Yeah, I think so. I went with Blue Jays over the Padres.
Ooh, the Padres getting there. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's their time. I think the Dodgers are holding out for Ohtani, and it's all just kind of lining up for San Diego this year. I think Bob Melvin can get him there. I like Bob Melvin. He's a great manager.
I'm going with the Atlanta Braves over the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, man.
I think the Braves that would be a fun World Series. I think the Braves are just so good. I mean, they go out too and they add Sean Murphy, who, all around is an upgrade over Travis d'Arnaud. And that lineup's just ridiculous. You're gonna have Ronald Acuna back now for the whole year. He was injured at the beginning of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Riley is an MVP candidate. Matt Olson could be an MVP candidate. I mean, this team's just unreal, dude. And then the rotation's really good. Max Fried is an elite arm.
Spencer Strider.
Yeah. Charlie Morton's still really good at his aging age. So, I mean, hey, you know what I mean? Aging age. Hey,
man.
I love the Braves. I think the Braves are the best team in the National League.
They're right there.
And yeah, so I'm picking them to win it for the second time in 3 years. So Braves over Blue Jays.
Braves over Blue Jays. That's a rematch of the 1993 World Series, I believe.
Joe Carter touched them all.
Yeah. Yeah, a little before our time, but yeah.
Well, I mean, we were alive, but
yeah, we're alive.
Yeah, we don't remember that. Rob, MVPs and Cy Young choices. I'm gonna be honest. I really like my MVPs, and I'm mad about my Cy Young choices. All right, so let's do MVPs first. Who's your American League MVP?
My American League MVP is Mike Trout.
Oh, okay.
I think
before you, I just gotta say this. Isn't it kind of funny because he's a great betting odd. What are his odds to win AL MVP?
5-1.
What's Ohtani?
Ohtani, I believe, is 3-1.
Freaking Angels got two dudes within 5-1. That's what. No disrespect to Mike Trout. I think he's an all-time player. It's just funny that it's like people will think Ohtani and Judge and blah blah blah, and it's like, oh well, don't forget about fucking Mike Trout.
Yeah, and again, I don't like to predict injuries. Right now, Mike Trout is healthy, so I think you kind of alluded to it earlier. I think the Angels are going to be better this year. I don't think they're going to suck ass. Yeah. I don't think they're going to fall on their face.
They're decent.
I think they could be right there with what the Giants are. Honestly, I think they can. Yeah. I think they can hover and contend. And good God, don't let Artie Moreno and those guys do this at the trade deadline. Ooh, we're a piece away.
Well, dude, that rotation's not bad. Like Reed Detmers and then Patrick Sandoval, that's a good rotation. Who they brought in someone else? I can't think of his name. Did they bring in Syndergaard?
The Dodgers did. They brought in Syndergaard.
The Dodgers. That's right. He was there last year.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, the Angels are not bad. I don't think they're bad.
It's not bad. So yeah, I think you got him and Ohtani kind of protecting each other, and my boy Anthony Rendon, he's still there too. So maybe he gets healthy. Maybe he has somewhat of what he used to be. It's a solid 3, 4, 5. If they're in there, so or 2, 3, 4, whatever they're doing. But I went, Mike Trout, AL MVP, National League MVP. I went with Juan Soto, and I took Juan Soto. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and it didn't work.
Can't go wrong.
I forget who I took last year, but I'm very high on the Padres, and this is. People talk about contract years. This isn't Juan Soto's contract year, but he's a year away from his contract year. And a lot of guys, they start waving their hands, but nope, I'm not negotiating during my contract year. I'll wait until after the season. So the year before your contract year, that's kind of the new thing now with athletes and all sports. True. Where True. I want to look good before my contract year, so I can get that done and not have it hanging over my head. So I expect in that lineup with all those mashers, I think Juan Soto is going to put up ridiculous numbers. So Juan Soto.
All right, my AL MVP, I'm sticking with the Angels as well, Rob, and I'm going Taylor Ward. Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
Anthony Rendon, don't lie.
Look, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, and I know it's such a boring pick. I'm going Shohei Ohtani. He probably should have won it last year and didn't, and now he's going into after this year will be the biggest payday in Major League Baseball history, and he's going to get it, and it's probably going to be $500+ million, which is ridiculous. But I think Ohtani has a monstrous year. I'm talking, 45, 50 bombs, probably strikes out 230 dudes, like just an all-time Major League year. Boring, but I'm going Ohtani. NL, I talked about him a few minutes ago. I love seeing him play. He's entertaining. He's fun for the game, and I think he's on, one of the best teams in baseball. And I want to see a full season of Ronald Acuna, dude. I think, whether he can DH, but he wants to play right field again. And, I think when he's healthy, he's a good right fielder as well. So I'm going Ronald Acuna for my National League MVP.
Yeah, if Ronald Acuna stays healthy, I mean, he could put up just record-breaking numbers on that team. He could be ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, Cy Young. This is where I'm not crazy about my picks, but I'll stick with them.
Okay.
I guess I'll go first. AL. I'm going Garrett Cole. I don't even like Garrett Cole, and I think he's slightly overrated. But I just have a gut feeling that he's gonna have a really, really big year and just accumulate a shit ton of strikeouts. So yeah, I'm going Garrett Cole. I really liked my pick last year. Remember I picked Dylan Cease and it almost happened.
That was a great pick. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go Garrett Cole this year. Yeah. So yeah.
Hey, sometimes it's a popularity contest. So
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Who's your AL Cy Young?
My AL Cy Young is, believe it or not, Shohei Ohtani.
Anyways, National League. Do you need to explain why, or just because he's the greatest baseball player in the world?
I mean, he's the greatest baseball player who ever lived, and but no, really, yeah. The American League pitchers, they did like going through them. They didn't really knock my socks off this year, and I think just the Ohtani fever is real. I think he's having a great year, obviously. So yeah, they can't give him the MVP and Cy Young, so I think he'll get the Cy Young.
Okay. Well, one of us, we can't both be right then, I guess. National League. This one I'm like not super upset with because I think it would be a cool dark horse pick. I'm going to go Zach Wheeler.
That's a good one. From
the Philadelphia Phillies, the former Giant prospect. I think he's become one of the better arms in the National League the last couple of years. Just when he stays healthy. I mean, he's a big K guy will strike you out, and him and Nola at the front of that Phillies rotations, still really good. So I'm going Zach Wheeler in the National League. I wanted to go with a non-boring pick, so that's why I went with Wheeler.
Okay, well, I went with a non-boring pick too. I think I took Julio Urias.
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, not as a Dodger guy, but because we talked about it earlier.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, and I have 20-1 odds for him to win it. Put in a
Rob, I don't know if you can hear me or not. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, because I can't hear you at all. I don't know what happened to my audio, but I'm gonna try and not lose this. But I guess I could also just wrap up here. So I don't know if anyone can hear me or if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Rob can't hear me. Oh, he can. Okay. So I can't hear Rob. So we're gonna end the show. But look, that was our season preview for 2023. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Look, if you haven't listened to episode 98, go back and listen. We're talking Giants prospects with Kevin Cunningham. Make sure you check out this episode too. It'll be out on Wednesday, the 29th, and the season starts Thursday. So Rob and I will take a little bit of a break, maybe 10 to 14 days, and we'll come back and kind of check in on the Giants after their first few games of the season. But we'll wrap with that. For Say Hey Doug and Say Hey Rob, thank you for listening. It's baseball time, baby. Go Giants.
Say hey, say who, say Willie, say hey, say who, swinging at the plate, say